Hopefully everything is working. So I'm Zach Adolphson. This is my ECE 173 final project. Uh, yeah, so I'm just gonna do kind of like a quick walkthrough. I'll probably show you how it works a little bit here on the side. But I'll start off with my main function. I just want to point out that n is going to be the length of the array that the user wants. So I just want to point that out. And then here, I'm initializing a pointer for the array. So as you can come down here, the PTR, line 90 here, PTR, that I am allocating size of the array specified by the user. So as in this case here, they're asking the user, it's asking the user how many elements they want in the array. So that can be any number, any integer. And then this is allocating size of that specified, allocating size for the array of the specified size from the user. Then here, that's just it's creating it's filling the array with the random numbers in between the upper and the lower, which I have set for 20 is the upper and lower is 1. So this here is going through the array and just filling it with a random number from 1 to 20. I can show you here if I run it. In this case, let's just say 50 elements. As you can see here, it goes from 1 to 20. 1 to 20. And then here, this right here is just after they put how many elements they want to the array. This is actually printing out the array. This just puts random numbers in it. And then this is printing it out. It's going through and printing the numbers that were assigned to each spot of the array. And then here, but here in the do while loop, so I have a do while choice does not equal 6, because what choice 6 or option 6 does, that exits the program. So that just ends the program. So here is just displaying the option menu. I don't really have to go into depth about that. And then here, this if choice greater than 1 and choice is less than 0, it says print F and then invalid function. So like let's say if I press 7 here, there's only options 1 through 6. So anything over 6 and less than 0 is going to have the user prompt what number or what option they want again. And then here, now get into the real stuff, if choice equals 1. So if choice equals 1, which is inserting the element, you grab the pointer here and it's reallocating memory for the array, but it's adding 1 to the size of it. So instead of 50 elements here, in the end, it's going to be 51 elements. So I'll kind of show you here, and then, so I'll kind of just show you here. So 1. You enter the new element. Let's just say negative 100 at index. Let's choose, I don't know, 48. And then, as you can see here, so that's going to be, I'm not going to count through, but it's 0, and then that's going to be 50. And then 48 is negative 100. And then I'll go to my insert element function. There it is. So here, then this is where it asks the questions like where they want the element to be inserted and the element they want to be inserted and what index. And then here, this for loop here is going through kind of backwards in the array. Instead of going from 9 And like in this case, I'm going from 9 to 20 to 1. And 19, it's going from backwards. So it's starting at the 16 and then 1. And then in this case, and then it inserts negative 100 at index 48. So here it's like, it's with the new size of the array, it's moving from 16. It's moving elements at index what was 49 before. It's with the new size of the array as now 50 because it got added before in my if statements down here. So now with the new size, it's now moving the 16 into index 50. And so it's moving it from index 49 to index 50. And then it repeats that until I is greater than or equal to the index that was specified here. So in this case, 48. And then that's easy. It just inserts the element in the specified index. Then let's go to choice 2. So here's it's deleting the element. And in this case, I'm going to be calling the function first, and it's going to be returning count. So let's just go back up here in star k, that's in initializing the array, that's bringing the array, the address of the array over to the element or the function. And then you have here the print statement, enter the number you want to delete, and then it's assigning that whatever number or integer they put in is getting assigned to element. And then in this while loop, you have these for loops, which I mean quite self-explanatory, but you have for loops. It's just going I equals 0 to I less than n, so I is less than n, which is the length, and then it adds on. But here you have if. So what it's doing here is going through each element in the array, and it's checking to see if it matches the element or the number that the user wants to delete. So in this case, let's go to delete element. I want to delete elements. Let's just say all the 19. So it's going to delete all of the occurrences of 19. Every time that 19 shows up in the array, though, that gets deleted. Okay. So you have that. It's going through checking if element I in the array k is equal to the element that they want to delete. And if it is, it adds up the count. It adds count, which is at the start, it's 0, but then it adds it up. Adds 1 every time there's a match. But if there's not a match, what it's going to do here in this else statement, it's going to, let's just use this 19 for example. In this 19, it's going to move the 19 over. So in the end, all the 19s are going to be at the end of the array. And then what I'll explain later is that the array then gets resized, but I'll explain that later. But here it's just moving elements, moving the elements that want to be deleted over to the right side of the to the array all the way to the end. And then here I have it return the count, and then I'll explain that why I have that. So here, since it is returning a number, I have to assign that to another to it here. So I'm assigning count. So I'm assigning the return count, whatever that number could be. I'm assigning it to this variable here. And then this n minus n equals n minus count. That is changing the size of n. So let's just say if count here was 3, and then the size of the array was what, 51 before. So now So now let's just say count was 3. So now it's n, which is 50 minus 3. So now n equals 47. And then here, that's just reallocating memory to the size of n in this case, which I just say is now 47 or whatever. And then it gets count back down to 0. And then just like resets count. So in this case, you have like 9, 20, 1. And then here you have 19, 10, but now you have 9, 21, 10. So what the delete element function did, it moved all the 19s to the end there. And then now with the new size of the array, those ends or the 19s are not showing up anymore. They're gone. So now with the hard stuff out of the way, option 3 is accessing the element. So here I just call the function access element, which is right here. And here, what I'm just doing here is I'm asking the user, or the program is asking the user to enter the index of the element they want to access. Let's just be easy on myself, and let's just choose 3. I'm going to choose the index 3, and then it's assigning okay, yeah. So what it's doing then is assigning the number date. So in this case, 3. It's assigning that to I, and then k index 3 is now equal to element. If I do that, value at index 3 is 10. So 0, 1, 2, 3 is 10. Pretty straightforward, not too much to talk about that. And then I'll move on to modifying the element. Similar thing, I'm just calling the function down there and then going back up here, modifying, it's asking what index they want to modify and then what value they would like to change it. So then you go, I'll show you here, modify the element. Let's just choose index. Let's choose index 3 since we already know it's 10. With what value? Let's just choose 1000. So value index 3 is now 1000, which is what it's doing here. But then to make sure you display it, 0, 1, 2, 3 is now 1000. So what this line here does is just changes the k, or index of the array to whatever number the user inputs. And then, okay, now with the hard stuff out of the way, displaying the dynamic array, which is choice 5, I just here, since it's bringing the address of the array, it already knows what like the array is, if that's a simple way to put it, if that's an understandable way to put it. But here, it just prints it. So it's going through, it already knows what n is the length, and then I, which is starting at 0, then going to 0, 1, 2, 3, and then here it just prints the array k. So like I'll just do it again here. It's not printing a new array. It acts like it's copying the array. A simple way to put it, if someone didn't know anything about coding, that's how I would put it. It's going through the array already, but it's just reprinting it. And then choice 6, since I don't have it here, I have it down here. So then while here, choice 6, it ends the program. Program is now done. And then it's now freeing the pointer, freeing the array. So the array, if I were to go here, let's run it again to just show you. So it's freeing the array, that array is gone. Then if I print a new array of 50 elements, it's a whole new array that I'm freeing the address. So that memory then gets, since it's now empty, so then it possibly to be stored with something else later in the future. All right. I think that was all I needed to talk about. That's all. Thank you.